Hello everyone, welcome to Gearhead Entertainment. Today is Sundays with Steve, and today is a bit of a double feature because I have been out of it for so long. So we're going to be playing the Jackal Stronghold. It's the next level in the campaign. If you remember where we were playing last time, Arcantos had a bad dream about what happens if he doesn't fight to stop Gargarensis, and so we are going to go and put a stop to him by gathering all of the remaining Osiris pieces. So we already have one from the Tug of War episode, and now we're going to gather one with Amanra, one with Chiron, and then one with Ajax and Arcantos in separate missions. So this is the Amanra mission. It works very similar to Isis Hear My Plea in that as we bring Isis closer to an enemy, closer to an allied town center or structure, she'll claim it for us. So let's go ahead and save. I have gone ahead and kind of cut out in post, just fair warning, well I say I have, I'm going to cut out in post all of the sections that are just kind of boring. It's long enough even without those. This was just kind of a long grind of a level, so trust me, everything I cut out is just pointless fluff. You'll just have to take my word for it. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is getting stabilized. So let's start. There's some slight resistance, as you just saw, some slingers. It's not too much. Our camels make quick work. And if we go north, we can grab that relic. It's the Eye of Horus. It'll allow us to have a little bit more population per town center. As Amanra goes, let's see. Alright, so we just claimed the town center, and that's how we're going to claim everything else. Go ahead and make it a fortified town center, or not fortified town center, a citadel. It's going to give us more population. Go ahead and throw down the houses as well, because Amanra can claim some greenhouses, and if we've already got the blue houses, then ideally we should be able to get over our max. Go ahead and train some Leviathans as well. The Leviathans are going to help us protect ourselves. There's a narrow harbor leading in, a narrow channel leading into the harbor, and we want to make sure that is locked down, and the easiest way to do it at this age is with Leviathans. In the meantime, we're just going to try and get our economy off the ground, including throwing a market up here in the corner, and we're going to have Amanra go and try and destroy as many of the existing enemies still on our side of the map. There is a small camp. I'm ignoring it because I've got more important things to do. There's like 4 guys there. It's not much. Your camels will make quick work of it if you just do a attack move, or even if you just let them auto target on their own. So that's one little thing that won't be nipping at our heels. The other thing we're gonna need to do, get gold going fast. All right, so you should get probably at least around 10 villagers on gold right away, and you'll want to make sure that you're protecting them. Okay, because if we're not, then we are going to get burned very, very quickly, because they're going to drop off large armies on our side of the island, okay? So the Leviathans are to try and stop that transport from coming into the bay. Amanra is going to have a small army to prevent that from happening on the other end of the map. So they will try and flank you, you just have to be aware of it. I see these Leviathans will make quick work. Just keep track of them because they have a tendency to wander off on their own. Oop, I forgot about these guys. Okay, let's go deal with these 2 slingers and this one tent. And this one villager that just built our marketplace, I'm going to have him build a couple of barracks and a temple. Let's see here. I don't know what these villagers are going to be for yet, so they can build stuff. Including a wall around our base, because we're going to need that eventually. I just want to rearrange the farms a little bit so that it's a little bit closer to the town center and that it looks a little bit neater. The best thing we can do is have resource production 24/7. If they can drive us off our farms, off our gold, then we're in trouble. Let's see here. I'm going to auto-train spearmen and priests. The priests are going to be to take down the myth units that they will throw at us. The spearmen are because occasionally they'll bring in chariot archers as well. Okay, we're kind of getting attacked at the north of the channel, but we should be fine at the moment. The second barracks is for training military upgrades, so I can be training an army while I'm getting upgrades for them. Ideally, I'll be able to train armies much, much faster with 2 barracks, but for right now, I just want them to help with buying upgrades. Sorry, excuse me. This is the second video of the day. I'm a little bit out of it. It's fine. Ooh, hey, look at that. I got an Xbox trophy. This army is probably fine for the first push, and that's good because they're hitting us already. See, they've already got 2 Anubites and it looks like a Spearman, so the Spearman will handle the enemy Spearman just fine. The Priest will take down the Anubites, but if you didn't have the Priest, it would be a lot worse of a day for you. So let's wall that off. Okay, see what I said about Leviathans getting away from you, and now they let an enemy army into our bay. So go ahead and hit the bell because watch what's happening. Look at the size of that army, and that's a lot of Spearmen. Or not Spearmen, that's a lot of Scorpion men. Alright, those Scorpion men are a pain in the butt, okay? I don't remember them, like, they don't come across as a strong myth unit, but against our basically non-existent defenses, it's going to wreak havoc, and that's the problem. And the poison in particular is going to wreak havoc. So just hit the bell long enough to protect you guys, try and get your army back to your base as fast as possible. Let's see here. I want a second town center at some point. Ideally, we're going to build a lot of different town centers, but there's one off to the left that I'm going to build here in a bit so that our caravans can start getting them kind of like a serious amount of gold, you know? Let's see here. Let's go ahead and cast Rain. We'll get ourselves a little bit more food production. And there is a mine over here. Watch out, there are crocodiles in the area, so you may get your villagers attacked. It's not a big deal. Just know that it's there. Alright. So, healed up the Leviathans a bit. They should be good to protect the channel. We don't need to auto-train them anymore. Alright. So, we've got our army in place to protect us from the south. We've got our Leviathans somewhat close to the harbor up north. By the way, I forgot to mention it. You should send Amanra up here to get in these towers. You don't start with them, you have to claim them. Okay, so let's go ahead and use our Leviathans, take down these siege ships, or these siege barges. So those towers are going to go down eventually, especially the one on the right. There's just no good way of getting a villager over there, but they're going to help you against ships that enter the harbor. They're not as useful against Leviathans, but again, arrow ships and stuff, they will shred those guys. So keep them up as long as you can. Oh, look at that. See, there's the army from the south. So what will happen is they'll drop off a Leviathan whenever they can land one. Usually it's to the south because you're less defended. But if they can sneak one in through the harbor, they will, because it'll do more damage. And see, we had a good-sized army, and look, they're almost decimated. This is why we need our villagers working around the clock, uninterrupted, and this is why we also need at least 2 barracks. Let's see here, let's go ahead and get some fortification, or I'm sorry, that's, what is that? It's not masons, it's, like, architects, I think. Just more hit points for the town center. Eventually we'll get some fortifications that will give us more command points. Okay, got a solid army going. Just making sure everything looks good. Again, keep the Leviathans towards the far end of the bay, near that choke point, that narrow channel. And go ahead and save. If you feel like you're steady, like things are going steady, go ahead and save, because things can go south really fast, and you want to make sure that you don't have to restart all over again. So let's see, if we had a tower, these would go down a little bit faster, but we do have our Leviathans. Try and keep them alive as long as you can. It's a little bit tricky. Okay, come on. Thank you. Finish off one of those, please. That's 2 Leviathans. That's a little painful. Partially mismanagement on my part. But the bay will be protected. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and train some aeroships of my own, because they're much cheaper than the Leviathans, and a lot of what's coming at us are Leviathans. We have halfway decent ships now. We have the money to pay for halfway decent ships. I think it's worth the investment at this point. And, oh, I don't want to garrison. I just want you to heal. It doesn't hurt to have a priest around here just to keep your units alive a little bit longer. It takes them a minute to heal your Leviathans, but it really does help not having to pay for new ones. Okay, let's see. Riveting gameplay. I know this is what you're gonna be dealing with, though. This is kind of the ebb and flow of the game. Just healing your units, keeping them alive until the next wave hits. When you feel like you've got enough things built up that you can push, that's when you push. But try not to do it before then. Let's go ahead and get some hammer ships, just because they keep throwing different types of ships at me. I think the hammer ships are good against the siege barges, so we'll go ahead and bring those in. I don't know what the logic behind that is. I mean, I guess maybe because it's a smaller ship. Like, I understand why a siege ship is better against an arrow ship, but I'm not sure I understand the others. Okay, so we just kind of got shellacked over here, and Amanra's tripping. Okay, let's train some more units. Come on, everybody. I survived that a lot better than I thought I would, but we'll want better unit production later on. I'm always a fan of having lots of unit production buildings just so we can raise an army really, really quickly. There are times where you will need it, so I like having that available. As it stands, we almost got into some hot water there, but fortunately our priests pulled through. I did not think they would. Usually priests are pretty soft to anything that's not a myth unit. Okay, let's go ahead and get irrigation. I think that's what that is. The farming upgrade. It used to be like plows, irrigation, flood control. So I think that's still what it is. But all right. Now the only problem is, again, they've switched up what ships they bring at us. So these hammer ships are basically useless because these arrow ships just tear through them. So that's fine. It's fine. Let's get another priest. I like to have a priest near the edge of the channel. He can still be targeted by arrow ships, but it's nice to not have to pull your ships back so far when you want to heal them. Let's go ahead. It doesn't hurt to spread out your monuments a bit. That way, if you want, you can bring a pharaoh or a priest over and empower a larger array of buildings. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Go ahead and get all the upgrades. I think I'm getting close to advancing, but I want to make sure I've got everything purchased and that I'm stable. Stability is the name of the game. Okay, so we've run out of gold here. Let's bring these villagers over, build that town center. And I want to go ahead and build a, build another monument over here. Once I'm done building the town center, there's 2 more gold mines by that town center. We'll want to keep it protected. Again, we keep getting hit from the south by relatively large armies. So we want to make sure that our villagers that are mining aren't affected by this. So you'll probably want to bring your army forward a little bit farther. Yeah, I don't think a Leviathan managed to get through. Let's go ahead and buy some more siege ships and hammer ships, just to kind of hold the line here. The priest is nice, but the priest can only do so much. Okay, and now that the town center is complete, I don't want you guys harvesting wood. I would like 10 of you on gold, please. And the other 5, I want to build a wall, just kind of in case of emergency. I want to buy myself just a little bit more time before that army manages to come and hit the gold mines. That's the idea. That's a whole plan. All right, so again, just cutting out boring parts here. You didn't need to wait and see the wall get built. It's a waste of your time, waste of everybody's time. I'm going to go ahead and drop a monument somewhere relatively open where I can build more. I think I'm going to build it right there. Somewhere where I can build more unit production. Oh, I haven't even claimed that temple. I'll have to get that in a second. After we take down this Leviathan. See, that would have been a huge army that we would have had to deal with, but because we killed the Leviathan before it could transport the units, we don't have to deal with it now. It's very nice. That choke point is a saving grace for this level, and I really appreciate the devs putting it in there. Let's go ahead and get rid of these farms. They are unnecessary to what we're doing right now. As soon as this is done, I want them to build a fortress so that we can advance. And then these guys, I would like them to go and start harvesting all the huntables over here. Just especially the gators, they'll start causing us problems later on. And let's grab that temple. You don't really need the temple, but it is a nice place to drop off relics. Let's go ahead and save again. Again, I feel like I'm in a good place, so it feels like a good place to save. The last thing you want is, oh yeah, I feel great, and then all of a sudden everything falls apart. So, everybody's done over there. Do be careful. I have found that arrow ships kind of harass your villagers if they get too close to the water on this side. Don't know why. They just do that. Anyway, let's go ahead and advance. I think I'm gonna go Horus. It's a tough choice, but I think the whole reason is the tornadoes, because I was tempted by mummies. Mummies are really, they actually have become a lot better. You can use them against enemy units to turn your enemy units into an army of minions, and the minions have gotten better. The problem with them is that the Osiris, Son of Osiris God power is just not as effective for what I'm trying to do as a tornado, and the Horus Avengers can do a lot of the same job. I mean, they don't turn enemy units into hordes of minions, but they do shred entire hordes. So Horus Avengers are going to be incredibly useful. One thing I want to do, so I'm just cleaning up some of the mess I made earlier. Let's redirect as many of these camels as possible and deal with this attack, apparently. As you build more town centers, it's a great idea to put the caravans a little bit farther away, just so that you get more money out of them in the long term. I don't care for this, please. Okay, let's use our priests, focus the myth units, because they're going to have a hard time against everything else, but they can deal with the myth units. And then Amanra can take out the catapults. Let's get a lot more units. I wish I could build a wonder. I could get the resources to build a wonder in no time flat if I really focused on it, but they don't let you in this level, and it just kind of hard locks you out of it. And I understand why. I mean, if you could just spam tornadoes like you could with Wonder Age, then this level would be a cakewalk. Ooh, no. No. Can I just get like one part of the screen? No, that's 14. That's a lot. Okay, fine. I'll destroy them individually. Yeah, I just wish I could use the tornadoes. I know why I can't. I get it, but I wish I could. Especially because I get punished so much throughout the rest of this campaign. Why won't you let me, you know? I guess the upshot, you know, there are some levels where you get to use a wonder, and it does make your life so much easier. Okay, first of all, let's destroy these farms. Secondly, let's bring our naval units down. This is what I mean by the arrow ships can harass your units on the shoreline. Another little trick, we're going to try and convert as many of our town centers into citadels as possible, because they give you more population. So we're going to want as much population as we can get. Oh, come on. Come on. That's dirty. They knew exactly what they were doing. Let's get Amanra and her units over here. This guy's going to harass us, I can tell. Yep, see, there they are. It's just unnecessary. I hate it that they do that, but you move your navy away for like half a second, and all of a sudden, there's the army. Let's hope we don't lose a citadel from this. Those catapults are tearing them down pretty quickly. Yeesh. Let's make that one a citadel. You see, we got like an extra 10 command points. Okay, by some miracle, we did manage to save the citadel. Perfect, perfect. It's just uncalled for, you know? Let's finish getting that let's finish getting that cow. That's ridiculous. That orc. Unbelievable. Go ahead and build a granary too. I don't like these guys having to walk so far. And we'll rebuild this. Every time you think you're starting to do all right, they pull some sort of shenanigans like this. Let's go ahead and buy some more caravans. About 5 more because they killed a lot of ours. Just a little bit more. You know, I'd like it to get to the point where I really don't have to worry about how many resources I have when I'm building an army. That is ideally what you want when you're doing these, because a lot of times the best way to outsmart your enemy is just to outproduce them. They usually have an edge on you. Even if you end up in the same age as them by the end, they usually have the mythic age a lot sooner than you do, so they get champion units a lot sooner than you do. They get iron weapons a lot sooner than you do. It's just nice to be able to catch up sometimes, and if you can't, the only, like, you know, quality is the way to go, but if you can't get quality, you have to go quantity, and that's the thing. Let's get some more war barges. And okay, good. Everybody is done. Let's go ahead and finish chopping down some trees. And you guys can, I guess, clear some space for me to build another Migdol stronghold. Come on. Okay, so we got 10 more guys. I guess they finished mining all the gold down there. That's fine. We'll have them clear out this lumber. I want the guys, actually want these guys farming up in the corner. Because this is a long way out of the way. One of the best things you can do to deal with crazy, ridiculously hard enemies is to get your resources well behind the defenses. If we can gather those well away from the enemy attacks, then we'll be in good shape. Let's build a farm there, farm there, farm there, granary, and that should take care of it. I don't need that anymore. Let's build another Migdol, probably about here, that way we can produce them and not lose them. Alright, so I went ahead and swept down here. There was a small army down here, nothing serious. Our Horus Avengers made short work of them. The real reason I went down here is, 1, this is where most of their boats are going to land, and 2, there's a whole extra 2 gold mines down here, and another relic, which we will take advantage of. I want a lighthouse over here, so one of the things you can do is you can empower obelisks and lighthouses. Ooh, I forgot those guys were there. That's wonderful. So you can empower obelisks and lighthouses to get a little bit more line of sight. And if you do that, you can see the attacks coming a lot sooner. So I prefer to do that when I can. Let's go ahead, build that obelisk. You guys should be chopping down trees. You should be chopping down trees. Just clearing away as much build room as I can. More villagers. One of the minor objectives is to claim everything that we can with Amanra. That does require a boat, and some of them are down here on opposite islands, so just be aware of that. But there's another 2 gold mines, so just when you think you're running out of gold, the game says, hey, here's a couple more, which is nice. And by the time you've completely run out, then you've got a strong caravan chain going all the way down from one corner to the other. So, you know, we're going to be all right. We're going to be just fine. I wish I had something better to take down this ship than priests. That's why we're building towers. Actually, I'm going to build like Migdols and towers in this area. It won't be perfect. We'll have to keep preparing them, but it will be nice to be able to tell these guys to go pound sand. Keep building that, and there's Leviathan. Wonderful. Can our priests take it down? They cannot. Wonderful. Okay. That's alright. The Horus Avengers will make short work. I mean, look at that. Look how quickly those guys went down. Those Horus Avengers are no joke, man. I'm going to use so many of them. They're one of my favorite Egyptian units. I think it is between the Horus Avenger and the War Turtle. The War Turtle used to just be a Thoth thing, which made choosing Thoth way better of a choice, even though he's already a good choice. It's just, you know, everything else plus a War Turtle is great. Now everybody gets a War Turtle. It's not as exciting. But They are a ridiculously strong naval myth unit, and they stun ships. It's wonderful. So Egypt has, I think Greece ultimately has my favorite myth units, but Egypt has some real winners. So I gotta say, come to think of it, I don't think we've had really good myth units since the OGs. And I mean, like, I don't even think the Titan myth units were all that great. Automatons were really fun, but that's just because you could repair them and keep them going. Most of the myth units that the Atlanteans have, I wasn't really wowed by, but you know, the original myth units were pretty spectacular. I mean, so let's see, the Egyptians have the Wadjets, which are admittedly only okay. Nope, ships incoming. See, this is why, look at what that Migdol is doing. That's ridiculous. So that's why we want these. But yeah, I mean, once you start talking, okay, we've got Anubites, we've got, oh shoot, what was the other one for the Egyptians? It wasn't a Wadjet, wasn't a Nubite, because I mentioned both of those already. Oh, the Sphinx. Sphinxes are really good classical age myth units. They're actually pretty darn good against buildings. I think they got a slight nerf and retold, but they are very powerful myth units. And then, you know, you get the Scorpion Men, which are only alright. Rocks used to be a lot better, I'm not going to lie. They were just faster at dropping units, faster at picking them up. But, you know, the air transport's not bad. A Scarab is really good. And then you get to the Mythic Age, and you get Mummies, which, again, they're alright, but making more minions is great. And then you get Horus Avengers, and then, let's see, it's Thoth, Horus, Osiris, the Phoenix. I mean, Phoenixes are fantastic. They're flying myth units, which is great, and then if they die, you have a chance to retrain them, which is a lot of fun, because that means that you don't have to, like, you could lose half your army and retrain them on the spot. I love that. That is one of the best things ever. All right, one of the ways to make yourself really effective at a strategy game. Okay, really effective. Resources at the back behind the defenses, unit training, production buildings up at the front, in front of your defenses. The closer to the front lines, the better. All right. The idea is you want more units coming onto the field fast, and you want your flow of resources completely uninterrupted. And Phoenixes allowed you to do that, especially if you get like 20, 30 of them. It was fantastic. Oh man, back in the original Age of Mythology, they would shred stuff. You know, we just have some really good myth units through Egypt, and I'm loving it. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to go ahead and make a dock over here. In case I decide to, I'm probably going to train a Leviathan and move these villagers over from there. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty forgetful when I play these. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go do this, and then I get sidetracked by like an enemy attack or something. Okay, come on. I want my villagers to go repair stuff. I mean, look how fast these ships go down, though. 2 Leviathans in under a minute is unnecessary. I mean, our units took them down pretty darn fast, but still. Let's get a Leviathan over here. I want a turtle as well to kind of disrupt their arrow ships. Nothing serious, you know, because turtles are alright against myth units, but they really shine against ships. And that's really what I want. Everybody down here, please. Get our turtle over here. Got so many spare armies that are doing nothing. It's fine. It's fine. You have up to 9 armies for a reason. Actually, I don't know. You might be able to have 10. I usually don't use more than 4. 5 is a lot, because then you're having to guess around where the key is in a hurry. 1, 2, 3, 4 tend to be pretty quick when you're trying to reach for a key. Alright, let's go ahead and garrison these villagers. We've got 10 of them. Let's take them over here. I want to mine this gold mine because it's a little bit farther back, and I want to get as much gold as we can before we have to start relying on caravans. Caravans are nice, but it is always going to be faster to just mine the gold directly. Late game, you've usually got enough gold to do what you need to do, but the income drops dramatically, so you just have to be aware of that. let's see here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to train a lot of siege ships and a couple of war turtles. So the war turtles are going to be the shield. They're going to soak up a lot of damage. The siege ships, the siege barges, are going to be the sword. They're going to go around along the outer edges of this island, and they're going to shoot as many things as possible from the sea. Because we can deal with their navy a lot easier than we can by doing a land invasion and dealing with their army. So we want to weaken them up as much as possible. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Let's go ahead and get rid of those farms. We don't need that. We're not going to be farming on that island. Let's get a pharaoh over here because I want to get those. So there's a cluster of 3 relics across the water. I want to get those. They're protected by crocodiles, but I want to grab them. Okay, so our navy is ready. Okay, so watch these war turtles. Anytime we get a ship nearby, the war turtles are going to disrupt them. We've got enough of these siege ships that a Leviathan is no match. See, those ships are stun locked. They can't do anything. That's what we want. And our turtles are tanky enough that we can, that they can kind of soak up any of the damage we need to. Unfortunately, they stopped that turtle from stun locking our ships, which is great. And this is how I'm going to do it. So they've got a dock over here. They should not be rebuilding this dock. They'll rebuild a few things on this map, but anything up the rocks on the island, so there's kind of like this cliff wall. Anything up the cliff wall, they don't rebuild. Anything on the north end of the island over here, they're not going to rebuild. Let's go ahead and take out that tower. Don't take your entire navy, by the way, because they will still try and sneak a Leviathan in behind you, and then you're going to be dealing with a massive assault on your main town center, and you don't want that. But just take a large army over here with some siege barges. Take down as many of these things as you can, because why not? These arrow ships are going to do... these arrow towers are going to do most damage against the incoming ships over here, so we can kind of just focus on the important stuff of attacking as needed. Let's sink that Leviathan, please. See, this is what I mean. Our navy was completely preoccupied, and if I hadn't caught that, that Leviathan was sailed on down to the channel and dropped off a ton, and I do mean a ton of units right on our original town center, right on our original citadel. So don't take your entire navy. Just what you need. This will probably take you multiple goes just because they do have a lot. And it's not just a navy, they have arrows, towers, they have town centers, things that can attack you from the sea, from land. You know, attack you on the sea while from land. So we want to be ready and prepared for that. It's probably going to take you a few waves. It's not the end of the world. It's just, you know, be prepared to have to train a lot more siege barges. And it's not just the siege barges. You'll probably need some arrow ships at some point because they come in with units. And siege barges are great against buildings, not so great against normal units. Alright, can I reach those houses? I can. Just destroy absolutely everything. I don't think this actually matters. I'm gonna be honest. If it were a player, that would hurt. Since it's the AI, I don't think that affects them in the slightest. But it's satisfying. So, alright, let's keep sailing. We're going to run into a large navy around here. You want to go ahead and take out the lighthouse. They don't need a lighthouse. And see, they've got an army. So if you get too close to the edge of the water, you'll get hit by charioteers, you get by scorpion men, pharaohs, the whole 9 yards, everything that can reach you. I'm just going to drop a tornado, because why not? I've got the favorite spin. But you see, it's kind of making your life a lot more difficult. And they will rebuild some of these things. They're not going to rebuild the dock, as far as I can tell. I don't think so. And I don't think they'll rebuild the barracks, but they will rebuild the town center. And I think there's like a nearby... I think it's a Migdol nearby, maybe. Maybe it's just Narrow Tower. But whatever it is, it shoots at your ship's scent, makes your life unpleasant. So just harass as much as you can from the water. Oh, I'm thinking of a different one. There's actually 2 town centers. There's one, and then there's one farther down. So we're going to take out this dock right here. This one shouldn't come back either. Hopefully the turtle decides to saw it off. There we go. And another Leviathan full of troops. We'll see if we can kill the Leviathan. Our ships are dying a lot faster than I wanted. Let's go ahead and move these guys a bit. But we've got a lot of docks, so we can retrain them pretty easily. And just, train what you need. We've got the favor for it, we've got the food for it, we've got the wood, the gold for it. It does not matter. So just, almost left the villager. So just keep the attacks coming. I'm probably going to cut out a boring part here in a bit, but we're just going to do as much damage as we can. Let's go ahead and destroy this. Alright, and like that, we've got our new army. Most of our fleet died. See, that's the last of our boats. We did manage to sink the shipyard, so that was nice. Or destroy the shipyard. Let's see here. This down. Again, if this were a player, I think it would matter, but it's not a player, so I don't think destroying the houses for the AI actually does anything, but I do it anyways because I'd like to hope. Build another tower just so we can protect ourselves a little bit more, and then I want to chop down some of these trees that will leave us exposed for another assault from a Leviathan dropping off troops. But it shouldn't be a huge deal because we've got an army here still. This time, by the way, I'm moving the Navy around from... Yep, right. Like clockwork. Like clockwork. This time I'm moving the Navy around from the south, okay? So we're going to attack this dock. Weird autosave. Okay. Let's go ahead and just kill as many of these myth units as possible. We're going to destroy the dock. That should stop them from training as many things to come and attack us. You do have to be aware there is going to be a large army here every time. This is just kind of where they congregate, where they gather. Try not to get too locked up in dealing with this army. You're not going to be able to take it with siege ships. Maybe if we had a ton of arrow ships. If you can kind of split some off, that's great. So you can take out a few. I wouldn't have been able to take out the whole army. They would have destroyed our siege ships, or at least they would have ruined the assault. And I don't need to deal with that. Let's kill this Leviathan, because it's being a punk. The one thing you really do need to kill, by the way, these catapults, those are the bane of a navy. They destroy ships. Okay. Let's get these villagers up and farming here in a bit. I just want to make sure while shippers are attacking, our farmers are working. And that house is gone. There's an obelisk, or sorry, not an obelisk. There is a monument on the other side that we'll destroy. Redirect any of these camels that you see going to a nearby town center. Redirect them to the farther of the town centers. Let's see. Okay, those guys appear to be on the right track. I've been trying to grab as many as I can find. It's wasted gold if they stop short. So we just want to make sure that they keep going to the far one. Long as our guys are attacking, and we can leave them pretty much unattended for a while. As long as our guys are attacking, I want to make sure our villagers are gathering something, anything, doesn't matter. They just need to be gathering resources. We can trade it later as needed, but they need to be busy. Otherwise, they're just wasted command points. Let's go on around. Okay, clearly they stopped short. Kill Pharaoh. And the turtles, apparently. Okay, see, this is going to hurt because they're going to stun lock our ships. I think we'll still kill them, but, like, ow. Let's go ahead and take the time. Let's start training a new navy. Because I don't see these guys lasting. Apparently I only had one of these docks in my army. Let's group them all up and build a navy. Alright, now one of the things we can do, we can drop a tornado. Now, tornadoes aren't actually great against human units. I think they used to pick them up. I don't remember. But they'll destroy buildings pretty well. And we have a perpetual line of sight on the Osiris Piece, so we might as well use it. Okay. Just checking on some camels and some villagers who need to be harvesting some stuff. Please build the lumber mill. Let's see here. There's no good way to select them all, unfortunately, map-wide, so we're just going to have to trust that they're all going to the right place. It's fine, I'm sure. But our navy's ready, so let's go back again. The idea is harass as much as you can from the sea, and once you're done with that, land. So, I have a feeling this naval assault isn't going to do that much. I did bring some arrow ships so that we can attack the human units a little bit easier. I think it may have been a waste. I'm going to be real with you. I think a land assault is coming soon. I mean, I'm playing this kind of cautiously. I know I'm playing this kind of cautiously, but, you know, I played it recklessly before, and then while you're busy trying to destroy their base by brute force, they come in and drop a Leviathan in behind you, and then all of a sudden your unit production's gone, your resource production's gone, and everything's gone belly up. So, slow and steady. If we lose a few units, obviously I've got the resources to spare. I mean, I have tens of thousands of every single resource except for favor, which I have 1,900 favor, and that is a lot. So, please go kill our scorpions over here. I don't like the turtle either. So here's the thing, they're just going to keep training units over here. If you can hit anything from the water, great. I think we're running out of time to do that. So I'm going to work on, I'm just going to get a couple of transports here in a bit. And let's get some war elephants. And we're going to start a land invasion. Alright, everybody load up. All aboard. All aboard. And just like that, we're ready to invade. Now, I don't have a lot of siege, so this might take me a couple of tries. But the Horus Avengers are doing their job. Let's go ahead and drop an Eclipse. That Eclipse is going to buff our Horus Avengers even more. Oh, excuse my phone. That's just an email. Let's see here. They don't need a siege works. At the very least, they won't be hitting us with that. Let's drop another tornado over here. Can I take out a Migdol, maybe? Hopefully. We'll see. Tornadoes have a tendency to wander, so we can always hope. It looks like, yeah. It looks like that push isn't going to work. Let's take our navy, do what we can, and then land invasions from there. Okay, our navy's going to be basically useless. I've kind of taken them around. I can tell you right now, they're not going to be able to hit much. We'll try. I mean, we'll give it the good old college try, but I think we're stuck with land invasions from here. The only reason I have them is because I already built them. So, let the arrow ships attack as many of the chariots as we can. Let's see if the siege ships can hit the town center. They probably need to be where the arrow ships are, if I'm being real. It looks like a couple of them can hit, but, you know, siege ships are good against buildings. They're just not as good as, like, real siege. So you need more of them. And if only 2 or 3 can hit town center, you got plenty of time to deal with it. So, screw that catapult. That's annoying. Okay, so, yep, we're just going to lose as much of our navy as we can and focus on land invasions from here. And we're going to invade on the southernmost portion of this island because it's usually undefended. I've been training up an army for just this occasion, primarily spearmen and Horus Avengers, but we're going to have some siege as well. I learned my lesson. So we're going to drop a bunch of siege on them, hopefully drop a town center and a gate, and then rush the Osiris Piece. So as long as that's all we do, we should be all right. Like, you know, it's not technically hard. I'm probably doing more than I have to, but makes it easier on me. All right, all aboard. And invasion time. Okay. Let's grab the horses. You want the horses in front because they will soak up the damage. And let's go ahead and save. Just, you know, it's far enough along. It's been a while. Yeah, everything gets shredded by those guys. Everything except buildings. I mean, they're all right, but you really want siege for buildings. Which is why I brought a ton of catapults. Let's take down this town center. I want to bring the horses back to protect the catapults. And these catapults, I want to push them forward. There's another town center. Kill the villagers too. They don't need those. I forbid them. Oh, I forgot about all these guys. That's going to be fun. Okay. Fortunately, the Horse Avengers are insane. That town center is going down, and we'll probably be able to take down that temple, but I have a feeling I'm going to need just a little bit more to get through these guys. There's another gate to take down, and I'm getting hit by another army, so we'll see what happens here. Can we hit the Migdol from here? That'll make the approach easy. Alright, come on. Try and drop that barracks as well. And let's go ahead and trade another army. It's probably going to be more of the same. Just Spearmen, Horse Avengers, and Catapults. Or you know what? I'll do Axemen. Axemen's fine. For some reason, I have the impression that Axemen and Spearmen work like Greek units, and they just don't. Like, you kind of think... I don't know. I always kind of thought the Axemen were, like, anti-infantry, and then the Spearmen were anti-cavalry. And, like, kind of, it's more like the Axemen are anti-Axemen, and the Spearmen are anti-Spearmen. And then the Slingers are anti-archers. But, you know, it's not quite the same as the Greeks. So, I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, let's get these guys on the boat. And here we go. Okay. So, all we have to do is revive Amanra, take down one last gate. Well, actually, I may have already even taken it down. So, revive Amanra, rush the fortress, and then we're good to go. Oh, hush, kitten. Screw that mummy. I don't like that mummy at all. See, we've taken out just about everything they have, and they're still fostering a big army. This is kind of crazy. This is the kind of crazy nonsense you have to deal with. Anyway, I probably made that harder than it needed to be, but I was never in any danger of losing, and that's really what matters. Long as you feel stable, that's what matters. So you can take it a little bit faster than I did, but that's what I recommend. Stabilize your island. You want an army down south to protect your gold production, and you want Leviathans guarding the channel, and then as soon as you're stable, just harass them with your navy until you can push in with your main army. In the next level, we're going to be... I don't remember if Arkantos and Ajax or Chiron are up next, but we're going to be going for another Osiris Piece, and things are going to be harder. So I guess stay tuned, like and subscribe, and I will see you next week.